Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of NBA 2K18 My Career Offline. I am Jose Sports Gamer, back with another video, and before we go into anything else, make sure to like and subscribe for another video, for more videos like that. Sorry. And also make sure to check out my other channel, J Dynamite, for more content coming from me. I'm currently uploading Life is Strange Before Storm videos, so make sure to check that out. The links will be in the description. Okay, so where do I start? So, the moments after the All-Star break, this is when it all comes down to who is the toughest team out there. Who really has the pieces put together. You have the first 50-something games to figure out the lineups and try to see which is the best combination to help your team win. And now it's time to put it to the test. All 30 teams are now under the microscope. Who is going to rise up? Who's going to fall down? Who's going to redeem themselves and get back into the swing of things? We're going to be looking for a lot of answers to the questions of who's going to make it after the All-Star break. Now, you all know I'm a Lakers fan, and so far the Lakers have been doing pretty good so far, winning 2 games starting the All-Star after the All-Star break or whatever. But today it's not about the Lakers. Today it's about the NBA as a whole. You know, the pressure is on for all 30 teams to actually get in there and try to at least make things interesting for the playoffs. Or if they are at the very bottom with no hopes of even reaching the playoffs in the first place, this is when they are in full tank mode. So they are gonna tank no matter what this come around. And for the teams that do have a shot, the teams that have been doing pretty decent at the very least, this is the time to see if they are finally, if it's gonna finally pay off. Okay, so I understand. The trade deadline is completely over, and this means that if you want something to be changed, if you want a player to get out of your team, the only way you can do so is via buyout. And with this buyout thing, this pretty much means that you're spending money to get rid of a player, and you're not getting anything in return, and that's not exactly the best thing. So if you want to, you had a chance to build a team prior to the All-Star break, prior to the trade deadline, all that type of stuff. Now we're gonna go back for a moment to this year's trade deadline and all that type of stuff prior to the trade deadline. So this was not the most intense trade deadline, but I was actually the most curious one, I think, in my opinion, at the very least, because for most of the period prior to the trade deadline, it was kind of quiet, unlike some years. But at the last few moments, like we saw Blake Griffin leaving to the Pistons, then we saw the Cavaliers making all those trades, trading Isaiah Thomas to the Lakers, trading Jay Crowder to the Jazz, and getting back on a trade. On all those trades, they got back Jordan Clarkson, Clarence Jr., and Rodney Hood. The Cavaliers are a considerably younger team than they were at the start of the season, and probably they have a chance to get in the finals against the Warriors for about the 1000th time in league history or something like that. I'm exaggerating, of course, but the thing is, the trade is all this trade deadline thing, like it forces teams to try to look for some schemes to try to find a way to improve the team, to make sure that by the end of the season they have a better team. But also, it's a good chance for teams that are completely out of the playoff race to try to get younger prospects, players that are not really working at it right now, but they could probably do it a year or two from now or whatever case may be. Make sure that they are losing more games, because if they lose more, that means they have better chances at actually getting a draft pick. Although you're not 100% guaranteed that you're gonna get the first overall draft pick, because we all know the lottery exists, because you might be the worst team in the entire league for a certain season, and then for all we know, they might be the team with the fourth, maybe fifth pick, who knows. That you have the best odds doesn't necessarily give you the right shot at the first overall draft pick. There's not the MLB, there's not the NFL, where if you are the worst team, you automatically get the first pick. So even if you are the top, even if you are the worst team, there's some kind of uncertainty there. Okay, so getting back to the topic of this video, which is the All-Star break. Like I said, it's a perfect time for teams to see if all of the moves that they did prior to the trade deadline paid off. Are teams gonna get better, or are they gonna get worse? Are they gonna stay at a stalemate? Are they gonna stay where they are? We're gonna see all these things going on. Like I said, again, the Lakers. At the start of the season, there were some ups and downs. There were periods of time where they were doing all right. They were winning games. They were losing games. They were kind of stalemate. Then there was a 9-game losing streak where it gave me uncertainty of the Lakers' probability of even having a chance of even making the playoffs next year. And then there was this time where the Lakers found a way somehow to get some winning streak. Then they lost 2 more games, and then they had another decent winning streak, and they lost. And then recently, prior to the All-Star break, they lost 3, and now they might be on the road to another winning streak. And all these winning streaks, if you have bigger winning streaks than losing streaks, eventually they might end up in the playoffs. Who knows? We might have to see the standings day by day and see how much closer they are to actually being in the playoffs. And the playoffs, even if they get there, it's most likely they're gonna get swept, or at the very least they're gonna get eliminated in 5 games. Don't expect the Lakers to all of a sudden be, wow, this team is gonna make it to the second round, because most likely it's not gonna happen. Even if it were to happen, still they were gonna be eliminated in the second round because of all the exhaustion in the first round of the playoffs, if that were to ever happen. Because I still doubt that they're ever gonna make the playoffs. So that they're ever gonna get past the first round if they make the playoffs this year. But anyways, where was I? Okay, so the Lakers, even if they make the playoffs, they're not gonna go that far. But it will be a step in the right direction to actually make the playoffs, because it would give the superstar players out there the notion that maybe they're onto something. Maybe if I go to the team, maybe I can help them get a couple of rings for the next couple of years. Maybe help defeat the Warriors or the Spurs or maybe the Rockets, depending on which superstar ends up with the Lakers. Who knows? But also, this is a moment in time where we gotta see, is Paul George going to stay with the Thunder, or is he going somewhere else? The possibility of him ending up in LA is still there. It's most unlikely right now, since the Thunder is starting to get better day by day. But it's the uncertainty of what's gonna happen is still there. The same thing goes with LeBron. Prior to the trade deadline, prior to the ridiculous trades to the ridiculous amount of trades that the Cavaliers did, it was pretty much uncertain of whether or not the Cavaliers were even gonna go far into the playoffs. Although, as we could learn from previous years, the Cavaliers might be like at a stalemate for before the playoffs, and then come playoff time, they had a monster of a playoff team. I think it was last year or the year before, where they were basically, they were struggling towards the end of the season, and then come playoff time, they were basically unstoppable. The only team that they couldn't sweep, it was the Celtics. They lost one game against the Celtics, and then we all know what happened next. The Warriors win the championship game in 5, and so the championship in 5 games. And yeah, and thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed, please like, share, comment, subscribe for more videos. Also, make sure to check out my other channels, and I come out later. Peace.